Live coverage of tonight's race presented by the Asphalt Racing Network in partnership with Decals, paint and Photoshop for all of your one-stop shop needs. And of course, Young Headed Collectibles on Whatnot. 124s, 164 die-cast galore. Be sure to come check us out and break the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week here. We are live now for qualifying Naras Cup Series action here at Dover, the Monster Mile. Of course, 1 mile track, 35 4-pit speed. We have a comfortable 85 degrees in the air tonight, but 102 degrees on track temps right now. That's going to be a pretty hot track for a day race here at Dover. 3-mile-per-hour winds, not too bad for the drivers. Of course, 9 additional sets of tires plus the one they have on the car to start off with. No fast repairs as always. 3 green-white checkers with about 75% of fuel, which is about 60 laps. And of course, in the booth right now, Tyler Jones for Asphalt Racing Network. Buddy Kenny should be here. Having a little bit of personal issues this week, but he should be here. Hit me on the horn before everything started and gave me some reassurance that he is coming. He's 5 minutes out. Just got the text on the phone. He heard me talking about him. He is 5 minutes out, probably in the chat right now. Of course, DJ Vincent making a long-awaited return here as a part-time driver. See him in the 10 Jarrett scheme, a scheme that I actually whipped up for him that he had kind of fixed up for himself here tonight. 96 of Jeffrey Bourne on the field, getting the rest of his qualifying times done now. Josh Mason in the 88. Oh, maybe not a good time to swoop to him. We're going to keep looking. Josh Mason in the 88, finishing his qualifying times, going into the pits. Bourne, the last one to finish out on the track now. Hopefully everybody's paints are loaded in. We're going to refresh Trading Paints real quick just to make sure everybody is up to speed and ready to go here. Last but not least, now entering the track, the number 4 of Corey Rainey. They did not set me up in the booth good tonight because I do not have my notes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to go grab my paper. Get ready for you guys tonight. Ooh, not the last one on the track. That's a shocker. 99 of Mark Morton. About the second to last out on the track now. Beautiful cameras here for you guys today. Of course, as always, after a high drama stretch of super speedways and road course action, the Naras Cup Series returns to one of its most punishing venues, the concrete monster known as Dover Motor Speedway. 1 mile of high-banked, abrasive asphalt that rewards precision, tire management, and raw aggression. This weekend, several compelling storylines will take center stage. Of course, Owen Lax officially chasing double digits. Owen Lax has been the dominant force in Naras this season with 9 wins already in the books. The veteran driver is knocking on the door of a historic milestone. A victory at Dover would mark his 10th win of his Naras Cup Series career, a number that would further cement his status as the clear championship favorite. Lax has a strong history at Dover. and his team has shown elite short track speed throughout the season. However, the pressure is now mounting. Every rival is gunning for him. And with the playoffs looming, teams are increasingly willing to play aggressive to slow down that machine. And relax, close the deal, and reach double-digit wins on the Monster Mile? Or will the field finally find a way to contain the hottest driver this season? Of course, Fisher back here on track tonight in the 9. For much of this season, Jordan has kind of shown flashes of brilliance, but has been stuck just outside of that top tier. That changed recently with his first top 5 finish of the season, and a long-awaited breakthrough that injected a little bit of new life into his campaign here about halfway through the season. Of course, now he heads into Dover today, a track where momentum and confidence can snowball downhill very quickly. His crew has been making steady gains on short tracks, and Fisher himself has looked more comfortable battling in traffic. Is this top 5 the spark that launches him into consistent contention? Or was it simply a one-off reward for a strong run? Of course, a strong result this weekend could vault Fisher back into serious playoff contention. Of course, drivers still in warm-ups now. They're only 3 minutes into warm-ups. 99 of Mark Morton, I believe, taking the fastest time on warm-ups right now. Few stories have been frustrating as Mark Morton's 2026 season. Once a perennial threat to win, Morton has not visited victory lane since that last triumph at Atlanta earlier this year, about a month or so ago now. Of course, despite showing speed at times, mechanical gremlins, bad luck, and missed opportunities have kept him out of the winner's circle for far too long. Of course, notably last year with David Callahan Racing, now the veteran driver taking on the lead position for Steel City Racing. Of course, you know, Dover has historically been kind to drivers who thrive in chaos. Morton is that driver. Of course, his aggressive style can play well on the narrow, demanding Monster Mile. Steel City desperately needs a state win to regain momentum and silence the growing questions about their ability to compete at the front. Will and can Morton finally end the drought at Dover? Or will the Monster Mile claim another victim in his frustrating season? Now, of course, you know, he had about a pretty bad break there due to mechanical situations. Not only his computer, but of course, he had some situations personally that kind of took him out for a little bit, and he is back now, full-time competitor. Does not seem to be leaving us again anytime soon. So it should be good from him from here on out for the rest of this season. Now, of course, we have still seen a climb from his progression the last 2-3 weeks that he has been here. But of course, still a lot more that needs to kind of be riled in for him to still be comfortable. So of course, tonight can be a big testimony in his favor. Of course, he has to make it all the way to the end for that to happen. Like we said earlier, Vincent making his return here in that Jarrett number 10 scheme. It has been a long 2 months, I believe, since we have seen Vincent on the track. Coming back now to try to get it done while we're still in warm-ups. We can show what the practice results were looking like on speeds. There we go. There's my theme. Practice results not too far away, what we're possibly seeing from qualifying right now. Of course, about 3 more minutes in practice, or in warm-ups, excuse me. Before we hit the green flag here tonight, Kenny should be with us at any point in time. Probably scanning his pass, getting through that front desk, and we'll be here at any minute now. Of course, Corey Rainey trying to get some of his times centered away. JJ Moore right now taking the fastest time for warm-ups. Of course, this time is most likely going to have a draft pack with it as well, so that is going to be a little bit of a difference than what we're actually going to see during the race. Warm-ups should be finishing now. Then we will be getting to the grid here. Then we will be ready to go green. Of course, drivers getting on the grid now. Looking here at our pole sitter. In row number 1, DJ Vincent gets the pole with Corey Rainey side by side. Row 2, Lucas Lewis and Isaiah Fox. Row 3, going to Mark Morton and Tristan Pena. Row 4, Peter Hoppy Jr. and Caleb Hess. Row number 5, Charlie Bennett and Stephen Hollinsworth. In row 6, we're going to have Owen Lax and Jordan Fisher just outside of the top 10. Row 7, Joshua Mason and Jeffrey Bourne. Row 8, J.J. Moore, Kyle Sims. Row 9, Jack Plyler and Joshua Hahn. Row 10, Brandon Carroll and Jordan Otten. That is going to complete your 20 driver field here tonight. Kenny should be with us now.
Yes, I am, partner. Still kind of getting some things set up over here. I was a little late to the booth here. Security was talking about my banana looking like a gun for some reason.
Damn security. They just wanted a snack. That's all it was.
They're trying to ruin my potassium intake, all right? I don't get it. Thought we lived in a free country.
It's free until there's snacks involved, man. Come on.
Oh, man. Going to be a great night of racing here, man. God, ooh, we got Vincent in the lead tonight. This is going to turn out to be some fun racing. DJ has missed out on a few races because of work and whatnot, so great to have him here tonight. And it's going to be fun to see how he can possibly pull off a win here.
I mean, starting row 1 with your team owner, I feel like is a pretty good spot. I mean, not too far behind him. Another team stacked up 5th and 6th. Steel City side by side. Not many opportunities for teams to be able to do that today. We have 2 opportunities for that, and this is should be good battles here. So, of course, we're going to have to wait and see how this is going to work. Now, pace car off. So, you know what that means, partner.
Yes, sir. With pace car off, coming around out of the final corner here at Dover. We are green. Let's go racing, boys! Straight off here, DJ Vincent holding strong up in the front here with Corey Rainey in second. Getting a good, nice lead and starting to kind of seclude themselves from the rest of the field already a little bit.
DJ is a really good driver here at Dover, so we're going to see a lot of momentum being brought in from him tonight. Of course, he is notably a former Xfinity, now known as the O'Reilly Series car. That is probably one of his favorite series to run. But, of course, he does not care. If it is a good track, he'll be there. 67 of Hollinsworth sideways in the back. 40 of Lax involved. Oh, my God. First wreck already before we even hit lap 3.
Yeah, and it's looking like Hollingsworth coming out of 4 here. Getting a little bit loose. Ends up getting into the number 25 there. 25 saves it. Hollingsworth goes around, and that's when the pileup kind of starts to get created there.
Good Lord. 42 of Hahn went off at least 3 tires there. As he made contact with that wreck. Lax also involved in that wreck. Not a good situation. Not a good situation to be in early as a driver. Lax taking some nose damage as well. J.J. Moore in it in the 5 car. 28 of Kyle Sims involved. I mean, it's not looking good for a lot of drivers. Peter Hoppy. I mean, we got a lot of meatball flags out right now. Brendan Carroll in the 7. Plyler in the 43. Hoppy in the number 1. Stephen Hollinsworth in the 67. That's at least a minimum of 5 to 7 minutes of damage that they're going to have to take off of those cars now before they could even get back on the track, and that's going to take them out of contention now for a race win.
Yeah, and one way to start the race for these guys, pretty much ending their possibilities right here off the bat. It definitely is going to sting a little, that's for sure.
Well, that is a tough egg you got to crack open early here. And it's an unfortunate situation that these drivers are having to deal with. That is a part of racing. It does happen. Something you just can't avoid. It's always going to be around, and you're always going to have a problem with it. Now, I would say didn't expect it this early on. That's kind of the unfortunate situation about it coming out so early, so fast, and not really having time to really maneuver the track at all. You're right there, stuck, boom, right in the face of 4 or 5 other cars, and you know it's an unfortunate situation for those 4 drivers, but kind of an immovable force, kind of hard to have to deal with.
Yeah, you're right about that part. Continue.
No, I'm saying, I don't know why. First night we finally got back and figured out the dual stream. The YouTube side is not wanting to do anything. If you're here on Twitch, go to 720p. Seems to be an encoder problem with Twitch. If you go to 720p on Twitch, you should have full access to watch. I'm looking at it now. It doesn't look as bad as 1080, so... Now, of course, Vincent still in the lead for this restart. Fox going to be on the outside now. This is going to be an interesting restart here.
Yeah, especially after that early crash. I do not think anyone really expected to get an early caution so quickly there. So it's definitely going to mess with them a little bit.
Of course, pace lights are off, meaning we are going to be back green this time. Now back green flag here now. Isaiah Fox get the early lead over DJ Vincent. Fox doing pretty good to hold his momentum in the front right now. Vincent going to make his way up there, trying to get around right now.
Through one, he's able to get the lead, edging him out just a little bit, coming out of two, still holding it. Got the 99 of Mark Morton right behind him. As Isaiah Fox falls back to third here. Got Tristan Pena falling up right behind them. And DJ Vincent running off with it a little bit here already.
Like I said, this is a very, very dominant track for Vincent. You also have to remember, though, there are key characteristics of tire wear here at Dover. High overall degradation of your tires. It's going to cause your tires to lose grip steadily over a run. Of course, we are going to expect significant fall off about 30 to 50 laps in, depending on the compound of the tires, the track rubber, and of course, the track temps themselves. Looking at the temperature, it is about a scalding 106 degrees on that track still at this point in time. So there are still a lot of wear going to be on these tires. I promise you, by the end of this race, you're going to be able to look on that track and be able to see rubber all over the place. But I mean, of course, you know, right side biased, the right side tires, especially the right front and the right rear, take a brunt due to the banking and the load in the turns. A lot of that weight shifts to that side, so you're going to burn those tires on that right side a hell of a lot faster than you're going to do on the lefts. Of course, you know, like we said, the concrete surface also comes into play as well. Early in the weekend, the track is quote-unquote green and very slippery with high wear. As rubber builds up, turning the surface a lot more black, which you will see through the runs here, it can kind of change the track surface. It'll improve grip, but of course wear patterns can shift drastically. So you'll see a lot of drivers avoiding where that rubber builds up on the track, not knowing what's going to come from it, and not wanting to be blindsided when you have the lead or you're fighting for the lead at best. Of course, the temperature, the cooler conditions increase the wear. Your tires run harder and chunk out more. Of course, warmer temperatures can help lay down rubber faster and moderate the wear. Of course, Goodyear compounds here tonight. Recent races at Dover often feature specialized tires. You know, like example, left side from Bristol's, custom right side for Dover loads. New or softer compounds can also amplify strategy importance. So it's going to be pretty, I would say more of a pretty tire-consuming mentality race tonight, where you know how much gas you're going to have. You're not going to worry about your gas as much as you're going to be worrying about how much tires you're burning. And that's something that it's not just going to go away. It's going to be stuck in the back of your mind until the race is over. Now, of course, Fox still sitting in 5th place. DJ Vincent in the lead. Mark Morton in the 99. Not too far behind. So far, Morton has been on a tearing trail through the field, trying to get his way back up in points, trying to give himself a reason to not be called as a missed opportunity. Of course, he's already locked himself into the playoffs, but he has to stay above the top 22 positions to be eligible for a playoff run. He's done a great job at doing so far, but he still wants to add more of a distance to be able to confidently and comfortably go into the playoffs, not as the odd man out, but as a driver who fought tooth and nail to get himself back up to that position.
Speaking of someone who's fighting tooth and nail, looking back in 5th right now, JJ Moore's made up 10 positions starting back in 15th. Really just kind of tearing through the field right now. He's right on Corey Rainey's bumper, as it looks like he's about to take 4th there from Tristan Pena.
Currently in 4th. He has got around Pena pretty easily there. Now has to knock off the 99 of Morton and the 4 of Rainey, who are going to be side by side. Now, JJ has been deemed a little aggressive the last few weeks. Are we going to see that kind of pull over here? You know, it did start in the truck series where a lot of drivers were not too happy about his performance to get his win as a part-time driver. That also stemming a 2-race suspension from the team owner of Jordan Fisher. Not